What up, though? Y'all know we back for another show. Let's get this countdown going. Yo, what's good? We back. Another episode of Whispering to Your Soul. I'm here with my guest co-host today. The legend continues, the military man himself, Mr. Marvel, but I know him as Justin. He is also a director, producer, just a good person in reality. So, Justin, introduce yourself to the fans from Whispering to Your Soul, and let's get into today's show topics.
All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Justin. It's good to be here with my wonderful friend King. I am, yes, veteran and a writer and director and produce and kind of do a whole range of other things. Also personal train. And I'm happy to be here on Whispering to Your Soul.
Appreciate you. So today we got some dope topics today that we're going to be talking about and discussing. So let's get into our first topic. This is going to be a doozy.
It ain't no reason in this world to be around people you don't fuck with at this time in the world. Somebody who don't fuck with you, you ain't got no business around them at this time in the world, man. You got to realize, man, this is a wicked world and the wicked people are winning.
So that's my brother, Corey Holcomb. I got to work with him on the show of Black Jesus. When I tell you, Corey's like one of the most realest, honest people that actually speak his mind in such a funny way, but he's such a brilliant person, man. I love his honesty. So, Justin, what do you think about that clip?
I mean, it resonates with me. Well, I'll kind of let you lead it off since this is my first time on here.
Well, we just basically, this is about your honest reactions to the clips that you saw. So Corey was saying that we're living at such a time where if people don't rock with you, you shouldn't waste your time.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's true, but there's kind of like a fine line though, because you have to kind of differentiate like where these people are in your life, because somebody, yes, it's easy to say, okay, these people don't, and Instagram, social media, wise, these people don't deal with me, or I have something going on and people are not on the same wavelength with me, whatever. But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Somebody might not be dealing with you at that time, or they might not be on your same wavelength, maybe because they have something else going on in their life. Right. So it's very much a situation where I feel like if there are people that are close to you, I'm not talking about strangers or acquaintances. That's a whole different thing. If it's an acquaintance and they're not on your timeline or your wavelength, then cool. You go do your thing. Mm-hmm. What I would be more partial to is people that are close to you or people that are in your circle or around your circle. And you need to have an open line of communication. So if it's my best friend, or if it's a family member, or if it's somebody that I'm close to or relatively close to, even somebody you're in a relationship with, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, and they're just not seeing what you're doing or your point of view, that's okay to kind of go your own way, but also not be dismissive to them as well. Because sometimes, and I see this on social media all the time, people say, I'm doing me, forget everybody, I don't need any help, I don't need this, I'm all alone, do it solo, blah, 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 all that other stuff. But you don't realize like maybe something else is going on with them. So there needs to be an open line of communication before you just, kick people to the curb and do, like I said, the Instagram clip or the Instagram post of like, I'm not dealing with anybody, I'm just going to do me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. So I think there's a time and place for everything. Mm-hmm. And each situation is different. I don't think that what Corey was coming from is just one size fit all. I think it was that people aren't genuinely on your team. Like, you have moments where there's going to be different disagreements. You know that you're going to have moments where, just know you need to move on. Like, this person isn't benefiting me or helping me move towards the goal that I want to be in life.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to protect your energy. A lot of times we allow distractions to come into our life. We allow ourselves to be distracted. So I think it's important that you really trust yourself. And what I mean by that is you have to trust your instincts. You have to trust, like, believe someone. Like, I know a lot of times we always talk about the potential of someone, but we struggle to believe what we see. But when someone shows you who they are, you must believe who they are, or you should.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, there's something to be said about going down with the ship. Um, you know, uh, um, that kind of analogy. Like, people aren't meant for you in your life, but you're still hanging on to them, hanging around them. You have your shine, and maybe people from your old neighborhood or people that used to be in your life are still hanging on, and it's the crabs in a barrel mentality. A crab will pull all the other crabs will pull the crab back down that's trying to climb out. So so you have to be. I mean, this is like kind of like intrinsically kind of human. This is like the hardest thing to do, is to be discerning about the people that are around you. To say, hey, this is not meant for me. I'm just going to, move everybody to the side so I can focus on my goals, or to say, hey, let me communicate and find out what's going on. But either way it goes, you're right. You have to be true and be honest with yourself in these situations, and let people know, instead of, I think the problem that I have is that, or at least I had, is that if I'm not on that wavelength with people, or if it's not working out for whatever, and even in a professional sense, people will just get ghost. They'll just pull a disappearing act.
Right.
And that's, I totally get what he's saying in the clip, and I get what you're saying. What I don't rock with at all is people just doing a disappearing act and being ghost.
Right.
People all of a sudden they don't know you, they don't see you, no communication, no nothing. And you're like, damn, what happened to so-and-so? What happened to, So
but
that's
what
I don't respect.
You know what I mean?
Respect.
Because that's an example of someone who's really not rocking with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between having loyalty and then being stupid. You know what I mean? There's a difference between you always pouring out of your cup and feeling empty while someone else is full. You know what I mean? Than for you to allow someone else to get the overflow from your cup. So I think you understand using the discernment of the difference between if someone really wants to see you win, because a lot of times you could have a lot of people around you that act like friends, but when you're winning and something's not going well in their life, or they feel like they're not in their season, they become envious or jealous.
Oh yeah.
You have going on. You know what I mean? And plus, my mom used to always tell me this: everybody can't go where you're going.
No.
So a lot of times we procrastinate because we want other people to catch up. And then we don't succeed at what we want to be in life because we're so busy wanting to take everyone where we want to go.
You can't do that. You can't do that. And what we fail to realize a lot is that it's a lot of times not even the acquaintances or the person on the outside of the circle, it's people on the inside of the circle. It's people that are really close to you. I mean, you have people that are in relationships and they have, the person they're in a relationship with super jealous, the person that you're supposed to love and care about and supposed to be really supportive. And that's like, your significant other that's jealous of you, which should not be. It's like, how is that possible? Like we're in a situation together. So, and a lot of relationships end that way because it's like I'm doing my thing and the other person is like, well, I'm not where I need to be, so I'm hurting, whatever. So, that's kind of a really, really, really tough part of life, is to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Know when to play your hand and know when to get up from the table and walk away.
And I'm gonna throw a trick answer in there. Right? And what I mean by a trick answer is not rocking with yourself. A lot of times people don't rock with themselves. A lot of times people don't know how to be on the island, be okay, and continue to move forward. Sometimes we feel like we need an audience, we need support, we need everyone else, our family, friends, whatever it is, to be able to move forward, and not realizing that we're enough. You know what I mean? Sometimes we rock with our own self and be like, I don't care what social media says. I don't care what my family says. I don't care what all the haters say. I don't care what the distractions say. I believe in me, so I'm going to go out and do it anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think we got to learn how to rock with ourselves and love ourselves as well.
But then I have a question for you. Because when you are on that and you're like, okay, I got to be true to myself and do all that stuff. does it make it authentic? And I'm just saying this in a general sense. This is not picking apart anybody's post or anybody's thing, but does it make it authentic when somebody constantly, and I'm using social media as a barometer here. Does it make it authentic when on somebody continuously posts that on social media in a sense like, you know, hey, I'm focusing on me. Hey, I'm doing me, blah, 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 all that yada, yada stuff. But it's a constant, continuous post on their Instagram or on their Facebook or on their TikTok or whatever.
For me, I believe so.
You still believe there's authenticity there?
Well, for each person is different in how they want to move. I don't think there's nothing wrong with manifesting, speaking, putting it out, reminding yourself, daily reminders, affirmations, and speaking it into existence. You know what I mean? I believe you got to speak it and then you got to put action behind it. Now, if you're only posting it for the reaction or for the like, and there's no action behind what you're doing, then your motive is wrong. Mm-hmm. But for me, I've been posting Whispering to Your Soul for the longest. Mm-hmm. I got Whispering Soul on the TV, Whispering to Your Soul on the wall, Whispering to Your Soul on my back wall. So now for me, every day that I wake up, it's my reality. It's what I'm living and eating and breathing because I'm actually taking action behind it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And on my lazy days, when I feel like being lazy, if I want Whispering to Your Soul to become everything that I want it to be, then I can't be lazy. You know what I mean? So sometimes posting it and having it around you and setting alarm clocks and reminders can be a beautiful thing. But other people's going to judge it. People are like, oh, you're trying to be cocky. Oh, you're trying to be this. Why does it matter what someone else thinks when you're going after your own dream? It only matters if you allow it to matter. You know what I mean? Because someone's going to hate regardless. The question is, can you become the hero of your own journey of life? Mm. And I think sometimes the hate is to see how bad you want what you say you want.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, but that's a lot of forest through the trees to try to see. So you're right. It all boils down to you being honest with yourself.
Yeah. Real quick before I go to the next one, I remember that I asked the question, do you get mad at blind people for being blind? Justin.
Well, me? Oh, I mean, absolutely not. I mean,
okay, cool. Because I figured you would say that, but I'm gonna call Cap. And you're like, well, why would you call Cap? I don't get mad at blind people for being blind. Well, let me ask you a question, Justin. How many people can see your dreams?
No, nobody can, only you.
Right? So why do we get upset when family and friends don't support us when we're going after our movies, our dreams, and our realities, right? Because we said we don't get mad at blind people for being blind, but aren't these people blind to your dreams and your opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, I see your point there.
Right? And so that's the cap in it. So what we have to do is understand this. One thing that people can see is results. Yeah. So regardless of whether they support you or not, if you're able to create the result in your life, people will jump on the bandwagon. And that's where there's the old statement, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that because I had a very brief conversation with a friend in the gym, Jay, right?
Okay.
And he was sitting there. This is like maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. So I had just a fantastic day. I'm like la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da doing my thing, right? And so he was sitting in the locker room for like the longest time. And I was like, are you good? He's like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to like get myself together and da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, man. I mean, you want to talk about it, whatever? And he's like, no, it's just, people hate and I feel like people are keeping me down and doing all this stuff, different stuff. And I kind of told him something to the same effect. Like, nothing succeeds like success. So at the end of the day, all these people and the reason why I brought this up to him is because obviously you've known him for a while. I've known him for a while. And for a while, it's always kind of been like, when I talk to him, it's always kind of like there's some drama happening. There's always some drama happening in his life. Like I got this going on, this going on, this going on, this going on. And I just told him, I said, man, like where I am at in my life, obviously I'm in a good space. I'm not fully where I want to be, but I'm actively working towards that every single day. Yeah. I am drama-free, zero drama in my life, right? And I said, but I didn't get that way until, like you were saying, I just kept my head down, focused on results, stop focusing on the things that other people are doing, right? And just run my own race and focus on what I'm doing. And it brought me a great sense of peace because I'm like, I'm just going to do what I'm doing. If somebody has written 4 feature scripts and they sold them all, that's cool. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I can only focus on me and what I'm doing.
Right.
And all of the people that are like chirp, 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 chirp around me, that can't enter into my space because I just have to do what's best for me. And What I'm saying is actually internalizing that and feeling that, like, between myself, the air, and God, you know?
Right.
So no.
So here's the thing. Your responsibility is to make your dream a reality. It's no one else's
Right.
And Les Brown says this old quote where he says, the richest place in the world is the graveyard from all the unborn dreams.
Yeah.
Don't add to it.
Yeah. So but in that, real quick, I want to say this. In that, what happened was I actually went in my bag to get my tripod out, and I threw something in my bag, and my tripod broke. Now it was actually a kind of a little moment there, because the old me would have been like having a moment, but I was like, it happens.
Right.
Not a big deal. I'll fix it and just keep it moving. So that's why I told him something very similar to what you're saying.
No, that's dope. We're moving to this next subject, man, because I know that subject right there. We could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, I could talk about that for a week.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go, right here.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
There's not a big pool of good men.
That's a lie.
That's not a lie.
That is a lie.
That's not a lie. You tell me.
Listen, there's not a lot of good men who want y'all. I'm clapping for myself.
Why'd you work so bad?
That's such a funny clip, because you know there are a lot of women that actually really feel this way, that there's not a lot of good men in the world, and it's probably because of the different things that they've been through in relationship. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on that, Justin? Do you think there's not a lot of good men in the world?
Completely inaccurate. Completely inaccurate. I can't sit there and say that's such a generalization. When men say, "Oh, there's no good women," there's no, like, and I parlay this into both saying, "Oh, there's no women that cook and clean. There's no women. The women have value," and then we'd say, "Oh, there's no men that are good." That's such a generalization. It's such a broad stroke comment that you're saying, okay, have you screened or have you pre-screened 3.5 billion people on the planet? Because there's a lot of men and a lot of husbands and fathers that are paying their bills, taking care of their kids, loving their women, women doing all the stuff that they need to do, whether they are in a good space now, whether they messed up before, whatever, and go to church and are, well-to-do citizens of their community. So for someone, and she was so matter of fact, that I can't fully agree with that, and I never agree with those blanket statements when people say that. It's like, I know there's no good men, and I might agree with them the way that it's. I mean, obviously I don't know her, but the way it seems her attitude is how matter of fact she was. Yeah, he's probably right. There's no good men that want Shaw, but she's probably bitter and jaded from the things that she experienced. So she's going to blanket statement because she's on a public forum to say all men are trash city. And then some other girl sees that and she's like, that's right. It's rebel rousing. Oh, all men are terrible. And it spreads like wildfire, which is absolutely not true. So I don't rock with statements like that.
Yeah, I personally don't rock with the statement. I believe that she's probably speaking from the different things that she's been through in life. I don't know her. I don't want to judge her. But based off of her being so matter of fact, it seems like she was speaking from different traumas, right? And there's no self-accountability in that statement, because in every relationship that you've been in, you were there. You were there for the good times. You were there for the bad times. So the question is, when did you stop loving you? Yeah. And the trick is, and I know a lot of people might not understand this and they might kill me for this. You train a person how to treat you based off of what you say yes and no to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You have to understand the power of your no, because you can tell if a person is really rocking with you when you tell them no. Anybody can be cool with you during the rainbow, but who are they in the middle of the storm? Because that's when you see a person's real character, when you actually go through something. Yeah. How do you show up then when you're upset and in your feelings? Yeah. Who are you in those moments where it's not happy-go-lucky? Who are you when you are in the trenches and you're mad and you're in your feelings and you have to display emotional intelligence? Because I believe when you go through something, that actually gets to define your character. How do you show up? Because anybody can be, oh my God, Justin, it's happy, go lucky. Anybody could do that, right? Yeah. But when you're in disagreements, when you don't like something that's said, when
Mhm.
you're in your feelings, who are you then? Because the real you shows up then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when people get in their feelings, they'll talk to you differently. You know what I'm
Yeah, of
saying?
course.
They'll treat you differently. They'll show up differently. And it's like, whoa, where was this other person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where's the emotional intelligence now? If you love me, right, like you claim when everything is so roses and bubbles, where's the love in the midst of when we're going through something?
Let me tell you. Here's when people make those statements, because it's not just for a social media thing. I mean, even growing up for me, you would you'd meet somebody or you'd date somebody and they tell you, oh, men are this or men are, I mean, men are dogs. I've been hearing that forever, long before Facebook and Instagram and social media. But here's the bullshit, and this is something I find in relationships here. So check this out. This is relationship specific. People will tell you, like this lady here, to tell you, there's no good man, there's no good man, there's no trash. But wait till she gets into a relationship that's healthy and accurate for her.
Yeah.
Whole mood and disposition will change. She'll be posting her significant other all over her social media. She'll post her rings. She'll post her trips. She'll post, man, the happiest she's ever been. All that will change. And you'll go back, not you, but somebody will go back to that clip. It'll probably be gone. I remember when you said all men are trash? I don't even remember that. I got myself a good man now. I don't even know who that person was. So
Right.
when people have these statements they make in relationship because they've been hurt before, that shit changes immediately when you get in a relationship with that person that you're infatuated with and that's worthwhile. All that changes.
And you know what? Every relationship you were there. So my question is, why are you attracted to what you're attracted to?
Yeah.
If you're having certain type of issues, then a lot of times relationships are a mirror or a reflection, or it points out your flaws. So how do you handle a relationship or a conversation when someone's pointing out your flaws?
Yeah.
Are you upset? Are you mad? Are you in your feelings? Or do you have the emotional maturity to be able to handle the conversation in an adult way without taking it personal?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's no such thing as a relationship where everything is right.
No, that's impossible. That's not human.
Right? So that's not the relationship. The relationship is when you're actually going through something, that's when it's tested. To see how much you actually believe what you believe.
Right.
Or you allow other people, like this young lady on social media, to influence you. With the highlight, there's no good men. No, there is no good men that you're actually selecting that want you. And my question is, instead of taking that comment personal, why not do the work and look at my flaws? Well, what could I be doing better? Because I'm pretty sure,
see, and that's the thing though.
I'm pretty sure in each relationship, there might be some type of commonality. That's not even a word, but I'm gonna rock with it. There might be some common theme, right? Where you hear certain things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear something about talking. You might hear something about being on time and how you show up. You see, you might hear this common silver lining in all the other relationships.
Right.
So everyone can't be lying on you. The question is, are you willing to make the adjustments in you if you don't want to continue hearing the same thing about you? But a lot of times we get in our feelings and we blame everyone else for our own weaknesses that we don't want to go work on.
Right. And in terms of a relationship, I agree with you, because I agree with you 100% on this, because it's like, you can say all men are this, all women are this, all relationships are this, all people are this, blah 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 blah, doing me, blah blah, all that other bullshit. But it's like, if there's no good men if there's no good men out there in the world, apparently according to her, no good men exist, then one of two things I will say. First of all, why is it, going back to what you're saying, why is it that you're continuously attracting not good men for some reason? And if there's no good men, then why don't you just take time for yourself and do your own thing. Like, why is it because obviously you're constantly in relationships or you're constantly in situations, that's the only way you can make that comment. If you've been alone and solo for a long time, you're not going to make that statement. So why don't you take time for yourself and do your own thing and figure out who you are or what exactly you want? That way, if you do get in a situation with somebody, you can effectively communicate that from the beginning. So you can say from the beginning, hey, look, this is my line in the sand. These are the things I will deal with, and these are the things I won't deal with. When in my current situation with Amber let me know from the beginning that, I mean, very transparently, these are the things I will deal with. These are the things I won't deal with. You know what I mean? So there's a clear delineation between like and effective communication and like, hey, these are my standards from the beginning. There's no like 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the line and then saying I'll do this or I wish you would have been like this or I wish you would have been like this, because we just kind of went through the motions. So to me, you like that a person is not really open or effective to communication if they don't set that standard and say, hey, this is my limit here.
Yeah, with that boundary, right?
This is exactly perfect word. This is my boundary, and this is what I won't accept. Like, for instance, if this girl as an example, this lady as an example, if she has dealt with men consistently, as just an example, if she's dealt with infidelity or men continuously cheating on her, and that's what makes her so bitter and stuff like that, next situation she gets with, or when you're courting or dating, hey, look, my boundary, my line to not cross is infidelity. You cheat on me, that's it. You get that stuff out while you're dating.
Right.
When you're going on dates, when you're having drinks, when you're having coffee, when you're just talking, getting to know somebody. I'm just telling you what I will and I won't deal with. You know, it's a pretty easy thing to do while you're getting to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to put on a facade and try to placate to somebody or be something that you're not, or try to give somebody something that a version of yourself that's not true and authentic. Then down the road, all these different things happen, and it's like, okay, I don't accept this, and the other person's like, well, damn, you should have told me you don't accept this. Damn, I didn't know that.
So basically, you're saying set your boundaries.
Set your boundaries. That's the biggest problem in relationships. And I know for me in the past, that's the biggest issue, is not setting boundaries, not letting a person know what you will deal with and what you won't deal with.
And just being honest about what you like and what you don't like, bro. Like,
just be honest.
A lot of people don't. I think a lot of people struggle being honest, right? Because we walk on eggshells and we say what we think we want our partner to hear. Yeah. What we think we want our friends to hear. Yeah. But when they continue doing the things that we don't like and we don't say nothing, whose fault is it? Is it
you can't blame nobody but yourself?
It's our fault because there's no accountability. But here's the problem with that, right? You have to have enough emotional intelligence not to take honesty personal.
That's right. Yeah, 100%.
Because would you rather a person tell you the truth or hide it from you and then act on the things that they're hiding from you?
Hey, man, you want the ugly truth or the pretty lie?
There you go.
I mean, that's the way it is. But I feel like people don't hit that stride. Honestly, I'm talking about in terms of like if we can quantify it, people don't hit that stride until they get to be 30, 35, 40 years old. Until they have a little bit of life behind.
Because that could come with upbringing and maturity and how a person's taught. You know, a lot of people are used to toxic relationships.
Yeah,
a lot of people are used to toxic love because that's all they've experienced.
Yeah.
So when they get in that healthy situation and healthy communication, it's something unfamiliar because they've never had a relationship like that. I mean, I had to even ask myself, like, yo, what's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. And there was nothing wrong with the other person. It was actually something wrong with me because I had never seen what healthy looked like. And then when I started having healthy conversations and honesty, can you handle the weight of honesty, or do you let honesty ruin something that could have been dope? Yeah,
no, I agree 100%. Yeah, okay. And if you don't know love or you don't come from love, you don't know how to show it or you don't know how to manifest it. Yeah. But in saying that, you also have to find a space in your life where you can, whether that's through therapy or whatever, where you can start to develop that within yourself.
Right.
Or you're just going to keep putting your
right?
wheels.
You know what I mean? So you have to understand that there's lessons in that. They come with prices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything has a price to it. And the question is, can you pay the price of your own emotional intelligence?
Yep, you got to pay the price.
And that was something that I really had to learn. And you know what's so funny, right? No one can break your heart. No one can break your heart.
Okay.
Because it's your heart. And this is what I mean by that, right? You break your own heart because of the belief that you put into the other person.
No.
But nobody made you believe what you believed. You chose to believe that way. You chose to feel that way. You chose to give. You started loving the other person more than you started loving you.
Yeah.
So when things didn't work out how you wanted or how you projected or your thoughts or your belief or the potential never came to what you needed it to be, now you're heartbroken because you poured everything out of your cup. But your cup is your cup. If your cup was always full and you always had enough self-love for you, it's okay to let someone go.
But you can't get mad when that other person takes their full cup and they're like, bye, I'm good.
That's what I mean by you break your own heart based off of how you believed or how you gave or how you saw or what you thought or what you felt like was the future or how you projected. Whatever word you need to fill in the blank for yourself, right? Because we all speak differently. No one can break your heart but you. And the reason why is because it's your own emotions that you're dealing with about the situation that you're in. And when you know how to control your own emotions and you have enough self-love for you, I'm not saying that you won't go through the process of hurt or tears or pain. I'm just saying it won't be the heartbreak because you have enough love for yourself to say, well, this person wasn't meant. Because things happen for a reason, a season, and a lifetime, and you have to figure out what it is for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why I'm not going to take any too much time on this one, but I gotta. If we ever circle back to this, man, I have a story to tell on that one. Believe me.
Right. Well,
I know that one. I know that one very well.
Well, we'll mark this down as a story to come back and touch on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's check out this next one.
I found myself in a position where I could have made a different decision. But I've had some time to reflect on that. And I also understand by, the fact that all of you are here, that I have a platform, you have a platform, we share that platform. And so what I'd like to say to everyone watching and listening, even if you've had one drink, don't get behind the wheel of a car. There's so many alternatives. Call a friend. Take an Uber. There's many travel apps. Still, take a taxi. This is a mistake that I made, but I'm hoping that whoever's watching and listening right now.
So we're back from that clip. So Justin, you know who that was, the legend himself. What do you think about his statement and what happened in his experience?
This kind of thing is a very personal thing for me, because I had a DUI when I was 23. I crashed my car into another car. Wow. I'm just fully transparent. Somebody was injured in the process, and that situation, thankfully, I had a very high blood alcohol content level. I was wild.
He was lit.
I'm just gonna spare you the gritty details, but I was drinking out of a liquor bottle while I was driving a car.
Oh wow!
I was way out there on the edge of the cliff in my situation, but I understand, the need to get that message out there for people. Now, when the situation happened with me, there was obviously there's friends and there's cabs and stuff like that, but Uber and rideshare and everything wasn't the thing. Not that I would have taken it anyway at that time, because I was 23 and I was just doing wild stuff. But that situation with me changed my entire life. It's one of three. So we all have those pivotal nights or days where whole life changes, and that changed my whole life. I mean, my whole outlook on being an adult completely shifted in that night, and responsibility and taking responsibility for my actions, because I got arrested, I went to jail, so I had no choice but to take responsibility for my action. Now, I wasn't not a celebrity. I didn't have a platform to be able to get off. I had to get the full extent of the situation at hand, right? It didn't cost me $500, believe me. It was no $500 fine. It was way more than that. So, but I feel two-sided on this. Number one, I can kind of see in the video, I can kind of see authenticity in what he's saying. Now, obviously, he's a major giant celebrity, so it's hard to define if this is a PR thing where they say, "Hey, you screwed up. Let's make a public statement." Essentially.
Right.
But
we work in the business. You know what I mean?
Right. But I feel like it's not.
Get statements written for them. Is
right.
it authentic? You know what I mean? Or are they just using his fame as clout for whatever subject they want to talk about?
Right, but I feel like it's not. And the reason why I do is because celebrities, public figures, screw up every single day, right?
Yeah.
And normally when they do, it's a post on Twitter, a post on Instagram. It's a written, typed up public relations, kind of standard. Hey, a post on Twitter. Hey, I messed up. Thanks, guys, for supporting me. Da 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 da. So for him to come out, and he's an old school guy. I mean, Justin Timberlake's been around for a bajillion years now. For him to come out and actually stand out there in front of people and do this on camera, makes me think that there's, because he could have easily just posted it on social media.
Right.
Had somebody do it
behind it, though.
So to me, I feel like there's something genuine behind it, and we do not, and we will never know how he truly feels about the situation. All we can do is judge based off what we see. So I'm looking at his face, I'm looking at his eyes, I'm looking at how the assurity and stuff like that he has in his voice and his mannerisms. And to me, it seems like there's a genuine concern for what he did.
I agree with you. A lot of times we look at celebrities as if they're supposed to be perfect.
Yeah.
If they're not human beings and they don't make mistakes. I do appreciate him stating that, if just one drink.
Yep.
For me, it's personal because I lost my best friend, Larry, when I used to live in San Jose. He was drinking and driving, and he was on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Larry was doing like around a 140, 150 on his motorcycle, and he had a person on the back, and he was doing fine, right? At least that's what he thought, because he was under the influence.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Brown. There's a car accident. And on a motorcycle, it takes longer to stop. He couldn't stop in time, and so he ran into the back of the ambulance. I'm sorry. He ran into the back of the car accident. The young lady flew over the medium. She lived, thank God, but she had some, injuries. And Larry was injured, and he couldn't move. Let's just say he was paralyzed. I'm not really sure, but let's just say that.
Yeah.
Larry wound up losing his life because he got ran over by a Mustang.
Oh, my God.
And so for me, I go out my way to make sure that people don't drink and drive around me because I don't want to lose another person like that. Yeah. And I work at a club doing security sometimes. And so before men or female leave the club, I do my best to get them water.
Yeah.
So they can try to sober up. Or I do my best to point them in the direction of the nearest place that they can get some bread or something to eat, Yeah. And because that's important to me because I don't want someone else to be injured. So we have a comment real quick. Let's check out the comment. Hey there, whispering to my soul. Shout out to my mom. What up, Mom? Appreciate you pulling up. You know what I mean? This platform will grow as we continue just being consistent. But blessings, love you, nice to see you. So that's big for me to make sure that people are safe. People's safety is very important. That's just the way I'm built, and I just want to make sure that everyone's okay. So, please call an Uber.
Man,
please,
dude, is so crazy to me. Like after that situation happened with me, and court and community service and fines and all the other stuff that happened, I do not drink a beer and drive a car. I can't speak for anybody else, but and this is good gracious. Oh my God, this was 17 years ago that this happened to me, right? I still remember it very vividly too. Well, the part I could remember.
All it takes is one time, you know.
I blew a 0.25 at the seat.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like almost 3-4 times over the legal limit. It was crazy.
Well, thank God you're still here and you're safe.
Man, the entire frame of my car, the whole frame itself was like bent in half. And it was gnarly. I mean, so the saving grace, the grace of God, is I had my seatbelt on because I got T-boned. I got hit in the door. So I was actually driving a Saturn back when they had Saturns, and I got hit by like an old Ford pickup truck. You know, I was in upstate North Carolina out in the country. So he hit me on the door and basically wrapped the frame around my car around the front of his truck. Jeez. And so if I didn't have my seatbelt on, I would have just ping-ponged around the car basically.
Right.
He hit me on my driver's side door. But I mean, over the years, I've had people say, "Hey, it's just a beer," or "It's just a sip," or "It's just you're just having
that one time, bro."
I don't even put myself in a situation like Amber will tell you, like straight up, like the one thing that I just am I don't even want to taste no alcohol. I don't have no rubbing alcohol and drive a car. I would never. People, like, oh, you're not going to blow it. I don't even put myself in this situation because I remember how devastating it was to be in that. So in saying that,
I'm glad you learned your lesson, you know what I mean? And you don't do it anymore. So that's a good note for people.
Yeah, man. You know, it's honestly, it's not worth it because it's something, especially nowadays, man, in 2024 with rideshare, it's like the most preventable thing.
Right.
The most preventable. So I don't want to leave my car here.
Just pay to get home, man. That price of whatever it is for the Lyft or the Uber to get you home safely is worth more than your life. So,
dude, actually, and even putting aside, because a lot of people can't see it unless they've been into this in this situation in terms of like a car accident or injuring somebody. Put that to the side. You don't get to a car accident, you don't injure somebody. Let me tell you something. When you are driving and you have been drinking, or you're under the influence of whatever it is, you get close to your house and all of a sudden, or you're on the freeway and all of a sudden you see those blue and red lights behind you. Oh man, does your life and everything you hold dear drop down to when you see those lights behind you? It's put your head down because you are done. It's over.
Well, speaking of being done and over, let's go to this next clip and check out what we got going on.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
So our next topic is Diddy. The whole world is talking about Diddy. You know, could it be just a distraction during the election because they want to make you look at Diddy and pass laws and bills? Could that be the situation? But we don't know. So let's get into this hot topic about P. Diddy. What have you been hearing about Diddy? What are your thoughts about this whole Diddy situation? I see you had to take a shot of water on that. What's your thought on this P. Diddy situation?
Oh, man. Diddy did something. I don't know. I don't know if it was. Listen, I don't know if it's everything they said. I can't say what it was and what it wasn't. But he did something. Okay, because they are all over this boy. Man, I mean, the baby oil. It's just one thing after another.
See, here's the thing. You brought up the baby oil, right? I don't think the baby oil has nothing to do with the case.
No.
What I mean by that is there's no charge for buying gallons and gallons.
No. It's to me
not
something
a crime,
like
right?
that.
So I think what they're doing with the baby oil is public humiliation.
Public humiliation,
and
right.
Also looking to sway the public opinion for what they want to do later. So I believe when they're talking about the dildos and all this other crazy stuff that they said they found in Diddy's crib or whatever else, I believe they're using that as a marketing scheme to justify how they want to move forward to sway the public opinion. Now, I'm not saying that he did or that he didn't, but it sounds like he did. And if he did do the crime, then you need to do the time for the situation.
Right.
City, you know what I mean? And I feel bad for the children, though. You know what I mean? I definitely feel bad for his kids, what they're going through, the humiliation that they have to also to endure if Diddy did everything that they said he did. Now, the Cassie video was ridiculous. There's more information that's going to come out about his wife, Kim. There's more information that's coming about Biggie. There's more information that's coming about Pop. There's so much more information that's coming out with this whole P. Diddy situation. And for me, I'm here for it. But my only thing that I would like to add, my only caveat, keep the same energy for everyone. Hillary Clinton, where's those emails at? I need to see the email. Not only the emails, Epstein Islands. I need to know everything about Epstein Island the same way we gonna know about Diddy. I need to know about Epstein Island. I need to know about those political emails. I love the fact that Cat Williams said this is going to be the year of truth telling. And biblically, it says the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So people who took advantage of being in first place are being removed from the things that they've done, and a new wave of people are coming in. So I am excited about that. But I just would like for the truth to come to the light so everyone can be free. Because it's wrong to take advantage of a position and manipulate someone or drug someone, have sex with them, bribe them, wake them up in the morning and say, we'll release what we did to you in order to gain public power, opinion, to be able to change laws, or to pull someone into something that they didn't believe, like a Justin Bieber, you know what I mean, or Usher. And then Usher passed it along to Justin Bieber if that happened that way. You know what I mean?
I was like, damn. I was like,
the whole story to come out.
I was like, man, they're gonna try to take down Usher. I was like, no. I was like, don't take down Usher.
Right?
I was like, but no, seriously. So here's my
a certain way though. You know what I'm saying? We look at people, for some reason we look at people as if they're not people, and we glorify someone for just being good in their lane of what they do. You know what I mean? You know, because even with R. Kelly, when R. Kelly stuff came out, you know what I mean? Not just R. Kelly, but you have so many names, and I'm just saying keep the same energy for everyone across the board.
Agreed.
Because sometimes it seems like when we have our flaws and sins, and they should be exposed, rightfully so. I just want every culture to get the same energy all across the board.
Right. If
you deserve the same energy, no matter what color of bread you look like.
If you did wrong and you did dirty stuff, you got to get. But here's the thing. But I do agree with that. But at the same time, though, we have to kind of partition the individual and how they are in the public image, because the court of public opinion is a crucifying one. Now let me justify my statement here.
So, please do, because I was ready to bring some smoke with that one. I was
right. So hang on. So we can't control the court of public opinion. People are going to social media and criticize and chastise whoever the public person is, or however they see fit. You know, and if somebody wants to make a post about Harvey Weinstein and people like, oh, he didn't get the punishment here like Diddy's getting, we can't control the narrative as far as what people think and what people say, right? But here's the thing. So Diddy specifically, I grew up, and you did too, I grew up at the time when you actually saw Diddy's rise to the top. You know what I'm saying? So in our lifetimes, us being our age, we saw the Puff Daddy turn into like the media mogul. We saw the Bad Boys when it started, right? So all I have to say is I can't say what Diddy did and what he didn't do. All I know is that Diddy been talking a lot of shit about a lot of people and doing scandalous stuff since way back in the day for a long time. Diddy's had a mouth and has been that dude for the longest time. And the chickens come home to roost. That's all I'm saying.
I look at it like this, right?
Are making
I
people
feel like-
walk across the bridge to get some cheesecake, I don't know. Maybe things are coming
I feel
back
like
to
Diddy's
you.
not the main character. I feel like Diddy is Franklin. If you've ever watched Snowfall, Franklin was allowed to sell drugs, kill, do whatever he needed to do, as long as he was making the government a profit. When Franklin tried to turn on the government, or felt like he got too big for his britches and went just opposed against them, then all of a sudden, all the secrets came out. So I feel like Diddy is Franklin because what they're claiming Diddy has done ain't new information.
No.
It's been floating around for the longest. So why now? Supposedly Diddy had a lawsuit versus a gentleman and a corporation that he tried to leave, because Diddy had Ciroc and DeLeon, right? Supposedly there was a lawsuit going on, and all of a sudden he got too big for his britches, so they had to spank him. And now all the different allegations is coming out, but they wouldn't move in until they got the tapes, because the tapes is evidence of all these other people, right?
Yeah.
That don't want their information shown. Now, I'm not judging nobody because I feel like prostitution has been around forever.
It's a world-old profession.
But women have been giving up the cooch or the box or the sugar box, whatever you want to call it, for money for the longest, for their benefits. That's not a new thing, right? Now, when you take people across state lines and you fly them in and fly them out, that's really not a new thing. But if you're drugging people, if you're giving people pink cocaine, if you're putting things in the liquor to put them in vulnerable situations to take advantage of them, to blackmail them, that is wrong. If you're doing this to coerce politicians and government and things like that, that is wrong. You know what I mean? Like I like what Gene said when he talked about TD Jakes. Why are you here at these different type of parties?
Yeah.
When you see all the sin that's happening after hours. Because you are a participant here and then preaching the gospel there, it doesn't go together. So a lot of things are coming to the forefront in this Diddy situation, and it's almost like we're watching reality TV as we live inside the TV watching the reality.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Diddy's been in this he's been in this game, in this world for so long, right? And obviously it's Diddy. Diddy is a so-called one of the masters of the universe, right? He knows what the deal is. So if there was a lawsuit and it was a situation where, I'm just saying hypothetically, we don't know the ins and outs all the way, but if there's a lawsuit and they said, hey, this is what's going to happen, and then it was a situation where Diddy said, hey, I'm not going to shut up about it. I'm going to, do my thing and push for this, and they had to slap his hand for that. Diddy knows maybe this is a situation where I need to, put my head into the sand and let things ride out. Or maybe it's a situation where he's like, maybe it's a situation where he's like, hey, I'm Diddy, I'm big, I'm powerful, ego. Whatever it is, I'm ego. Because Diddy got an ego.
You said something earlier that I thought was really smart and really dope, because I wanted to touch on that point. Who put Diddy in the position to become Diddy? Because he had to be put in that position in order to be able to become everything that he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I knew he used to throw parties in college. We knew the start of Bad Boy. We knew the entertainment and how he spreaded his wings. Same thing with his affiliation with Jay-Z and everyone else. Beyonce,
that's right.
And all Oprah and all these other different names. All these people were there at the parties or whatever else, including LeBron James or whatever else.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been dry snitching the whole time when he was saying this is who's going to be at the party, and then he did a laundry list of names.
Yeah.
I think he's been telling his truth in ways, if you paid attention, you would be able to see it if you were looking for that, right? So my question is, in order for Diddy to become the diddler or to become everything that he is today, who funded him? Who was his sugar daddy? Was it Clyde Davis? Was it somebody bigger than Clyde Davis? What ties did he have? Because right now, Diddy is going to bring the whole house down.
Right. I mean, nobody lets you into that proverbial like Club 33 without you having to do something in return. I mean, Diddy's a multi-billionaire. Like I said, he's so-called master of the universe, all that stuff. So he got there because he had some kind of handler. So I agree with you. Is this a situation where he's the proverbial, kind of CI?
Like
he's the one that holds the secrets.
He had a CI that funded him the bricks.
That's right. That's right.
Money, that funded him this and showed him how to make these certain moves. So in order for Diddy to get in these power circles, because let's face it, let's be real, we're black. We're black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So in order for you to get in certain situations in certain circles, bro, they were like, you want to get in, you got to get fucked. So a lot of people, don't get me wrong, I look at it two ways, right? And this might be just me being two-sided. A lot of people were okay with getting fucked. Excuse my language. A lot of people were okay with having sex or whatever else for positions. Now, some people did get drugged to be put in certain positions. It just bothers me, the ones that were okay with it, that bragged about it, that announced it to get in that position to then act like they play victim later.
Of course.
You can't ask for the favor of the position and then take it, and then all of a sudden, oh, he took advantage of me. No. You were cool with what happened to get the position that you said you wanted. Now, someone who was being drugged and then manipulated to do something that they wouldn't normally do, that's a whole different situation. So I hope we're able to divide the truth in what's real. You know what I'm saying? Who wanted to take the deal and who didn't want to take the deal.
Because there's high-profile people that obviously it was a Diddy party, that were at that Diddy party, but they are silent. They're quiet as church mice right now.
Hey, not only
they
that,
don't want to put themselves out there. I don't want that auto party.
There's a lot of CEOs right now leaving the company, taking it out of their name, putting it in their children's name, so that fortune can continue to move forward. Kind of like Tom Brady did when he was going through his divorce. He put all his property in his mother's name. So when his ex tried to get things from him, she couldn't get anything from him.
Yeah.
So these CEOs
I ain't got no money
themselves. So if you sue me, my legacy continues and the funding still goes to my kids and you're not stopping nothing. And that's just called understanding the game.
Tom Brady said, I ain't got no money.
I don't know nothing.
I'm broke. I don't know nothing.
And that's what these CEOs are doing because they know that time is coming. And so it's smart business to take it out of their name and put everything in their children's name, which is clean. And now whatever the charges they're facing can no longer be held against the children, and that fortune still continues to move forward.
The rats are fleeing the ship. They were all at the Diddy parties. They were all there. And now people don't know. You say Diddy party, and people are like, I won't never there. I don't know nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And it's like there's videos of you at the party. Somebody just posted something. The clip was funny, but it was kind of a little crazy. Someone posted something, and I guess it was some party or something years ago, and it was like they were in like some kind of hotel room or something. It was Kevin Hart and it was Diddy, and then Usher came later, and it was funny. I don't know if you saw this. But it was funny because Diddy was on the bed and Kevin Hart was there. He had like a microphone. He was like, saying something. And Diddy was like, oh, don't get close to the bed. And Kevin Hart was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean,
like, I got nothing to do with this bed.
You got clips of Diddy being with Ellen, touching Mike Tyson's thigh.
Oh, man.
You got Cat Williams saying, you got to tell the diddler no.
Oh, man.
But I am glad that the entertainment system is being cleaned up and cleaned house.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of new talent that want to make it. So moving forward, Justin, what are your final thoughts? You know what I mean? Let's get ready to close out the show. What are your final thoughts, my brother?
Yep, jumping on the bed. I can't do it. In the comments, sorry. My final thoughts, man. First of all, if you're invited to a Diddy party, just tell them no. Just learn the power of the word no. It's important. On a serious note, I think that's kind of like the overarching.
We got 60 seconds left.
All right, yeah. Learn the word no. Learn the power of the word no, because if you do, you will be. You'll find truth within yourself.
Yep.
And when you find truth in yourself, you can communicate that and permeate that to others around you. So the word no, N-O, is a very, very, very powerful thing.
Yes, I agree. Final statements for me, you got to know who you are. You got to be deeply rooted where other people can't manipulate you and put you in compromising situations. I'm glad that the truth is finally coming to the light, so that way the world could be everything that it was designed to be. We can start falling back in love with ourselves. We can start becoming everything that we're supposed to be. And I just look forward to the cleansing of Hollywood, the cleansing of just America, the cleansing of people, so that way we can get back to loving each other. That's our show. I'm King Jaquel Martin, and this is our other host, Jay Stapleton, and we love you guys.